Alright, what's up guys? Gonna go at it again. Normally I don't put up this many videos, but I figured, I don't know, let me know what you guys think. I just wanted to show you every bit of the process instead of showing you like the first two videos and then just kind of working on my own. And because I kind of just worry it's like it gets too drawn out and it just becomes too much for you guys to watch, but at the same time you don't have to watch the videos, so they're there if you want to watch them, and if you don't want to watch them, then you don't have to watch them. So, weather's a lot cooler, and I've been driving. It's partly cloudy, 22 degrees Celsius. The track's like 30. Here, let me double check real quick. It's pretty cold. I've done a couple laps here real quick because I forgot to hit to record again. Partly cloudy, 22 degrees Celsius, track's 38. Right now the car's like a second and a half quicker, if not more, than it was. And most of the other weather I've been practicing has been a lot warmer, but it's kind of neat because earlier in the day and it was warmer, and now in my time it's a little bit later and it's a little bit later on the track, so it's actually working perfectly for my time of day. So, just getting warmed up. Probably just gonna do a lot of experimenting. Or a little experimenting. Because I like to take my time with things. I'm thinking about maybe adjusting roll bars, experimenting with those. Soften them all up all around, stuff like that. I'm getting pretty happy with the ride height, where it's at. Again, I'll keep experimenting with it, but I don't know if that's going to be my main focus in this video, because I'm pretty happy with it. I just had a really positive experience with softening up that front roll bar. Not only to help that front end turn a little bit more and rotate through the middle, but going over the curbs, it made it a little bit more agreeable over the curbs, because you just are allowing the two different sides of the car to act independently of each other, because the roll bar ties the two different sides together. So if you have a super stiff roll bar, you hit a bump on the inside, it's going to affect the outside wheel assembly. One of the bigger places I noticed it was right here, going over this curb. Car is much more agreeable over that inside curb on the left. And car's a car, just feels pretty hooked up in this weather, if you can't tell by the lap time. I'm running Sprint fuel. Their speed is across the line. Actually kind of slow right now. 258. See what it's like when the tires get up to pressure. Yeah, daydreaming. Alright, focus. Need a little bit longer run here, see what the car's like in this weather. Or a little bit longer run. Actually gonna experiment with the ABS a little bit. I'm gonna go up to 5 on the ABS because I was on a pretty low setting. There were 3, just see how the car does on entry and stuff like that. Yeah, try and experiment a lot more with ABS and traction control this season. Unlike I have the past couple seasons where I'd never touched ABS in the rough. Really never touched traction control in the rough either after I turned it off. But with this car, I think I'm gonna try and figure those out a little bit more, get a little more familiar with the settings. Yeah, you want to focus on getting a late apex for that corner. It seems like a pretty straightforward corner, but actually when you're behind somebody you get a pretty bad aero push, so you don't practice at a late apex, you could actually have to lift there just to get the car turned through the corner without hitting that wall. 1:25. So it doesn't look like our straightaway line speed's much different than in the warmer sessions. It's just the grip you have through the corner, and I believe you can carry more corner speed in these cooler sessions. Tell you what, car is much more fun to drive in this weather. Here, a little bit wider, just kind of getting a little bit later apex there. Gotta be careful with that inside curve into turn 1. Take too much of it, and Audi just really doesn't like it. I'll back down to 3 ABS, see if I can notice a difference between 3 and 5 right now. Going across the line. I mean, it actually feels like I'm slower in a straight line right now compared to a warmer session. But it's probably just about the same. ABS 2, but I can't really feel a difference between 3 and 5 right now. You know, honestly, I don't know if it's better just to run a higher ABS or a lower ABS, or also I should start experimenting with the different friction levels on the brake pads too. That's something else I've never really dabbled with too much.
Got one off the track in front of you.
Fun little section once you start to get the muscle memory for it and the rhythm for it. Oh, when you're first starting, it's pretty frustrating.
1 minute 25.6.
And I find like sections like this, it kind of, in the sense, reminds me of a track like Coda, where it's super technical, so it's almost, this is a little bit easier to find the flow for it than, say, Coda. But those technical tracks, you usually don't like them right off the bat, just because they're not as easy to get, but once you start to figure out the flow, it's a lot of fun.
25.6. Keep going, keep going.
You know, you start to figure out all the nuances and just exactly what you're supposed to do for the section, then you can walk the fine line of too fast or not fast enough. Ooh, that was weird. I think I just held the brake a little too long. Go up on ABS, go back to, let's go to 5 again. Right now I just really can't feel a difference, but that might be because it's a pretty ideal track situation. Track's pretty cool, so the tires aren't fighting for grip too much. Might be something that I figure out a little bit more in warmer weather. Pretty solid last sector there. See, the car's starting to pick up a little acceleration. I'm burning off a little bit of fuel, done 10 laps now. Yeah, I'll pull off that Audi in front of me. Here's a situation where you're gonna get a little aero push. You just gotta be conscious. I mean, it's really not wanting to turn right there, so it's gotta be really aware of that when you're setting up for the corner. Oh, he's gonna die.
1 minute 26.2.
I'm bringing into the pits, practice pit entry again. Whoa. It's a crazy pit entry. Okay, I don't even know where you're supposed to slow down by. Alright, there's the yellow cone. Alright, so let's just experiment with these, let's see what this says. Choice of brake pads which produce different amounts of friction. Higher friction applies more braking torque, which can slow the car down more quickly, but may be harder to modulate or control while decelerating. Increase the risk of lockup. Well, we got ABS, so let's just see what this is like. Keep the ABS where it is. See if I can notice a difference in braking or anything like that. I'm gonna have very minimal experience with this stuff. Now, this also might be different for different people solely based off the equipment you're using. Like these pedals I'm using are pretty doggone nice, and it's probably a lot easier for me to modulate these pedals than, say, some G27 pentometer pedals. So you gotta take that into account too. It's a lot easier for me to know where the limit is on braking with these pedals than it would be if I was just using some non-load cell type pedals. These are like, you know, hydraulic. It's not actually a load cell, it's a strip. Measures the resolution, and I get the more realistic brake feel because they actually have like rubber dampers in it, and you can swap them out, put different rubber dampers in there, and they're hydraulic to boot, so that's how I get a more realistic feel. So in a sense they're still pentometer, but it's just a different way of going about it. So I just keep that in mind. Yeah, like if I was behind somebody, I turned in way too early in that corner. I would have had to lift so I didn't hit the wall. Initial thoughts are, I kind of feel like I'm going to be a little...
1 minute 25.
I feel like these brake pads are going to be better for me.
On your right, quarter.
But we'll see. I don't know, maybe low friction's a little bit better if you have a whole bunch of high-speed corners, like something like Brands Hatch, where I just feel like at a track like this, once I get used to them, it might benefit me a little bit more to use the high-friction pads, because you're kind of changing speeds so often. And so that last corner I just went through, I have been practicing not braking for it. I kind of really like the way the car is rolling through there. I don't know if I'll be able to get away with that in warmer weather, but in this cooler weather, I'm really liking how the car is getting through there without braking, where before I was kind of just dragging the brake just a little bit.
Keep going.
kind of liking these high friction pads. I just like how the car, I don't have to apply so much brake, and the car just basically slows down a little bit quicker. Kind of offline there. So right here, I'm not using the brake, just letting the car roll through. I'm probably not holding the gas as long as I was earlier, going into that corner, but I think right now I like that flow a little bit more.
Right side. Still there. One.
Best lap, but I got a little draft assistance there.
Still there. Clear.
It's interesting. I kind of like that on the outside there. I feel like you have the advantage going to the next corner if you can hold the outside and if the guy doesn't run into you. So you kind of got to trust the person on your inside if you're going to do that. Thankfully that gentleman did not run into me. Nope. So I imagine with the higher friction pads, you probably can't get away with a lower ABS. So we'll go down to a 3 ABS, see how this feels real quick. Actually, that felt pretty good. Actually, I did feel the fronts kind of, they didn't really lock up, but the ABS had to kick in, so they're kind of dragging their feet, and it started pushing. I'm actually going to use the brake here a little bit. So I'm going to go up to a 4 ABS and see how that feels with these pads. Yeah, a little too aggressive there, but the car kind of bailed me out. I think I like this ABS 4 with these high friction pads right now. Oh yeah. So I went back to I'm driving a little bit more aggressively right now. Still trying to be smooth, but I went back to just barely dragging the brakes a little bit to help with turn in. And that right hand or right side, I was just letting it float through before. And I still don't know which one's quicker, but That lap was going to be quicker, and I didn't get a draft assist like I was getting off the other one. I definitely notice I can brake a lot deeper, and it's a lot easier for me to brake deeper into one. Probably braking a car length or a car and a half length deeper. Yeah, I broke too late for that corner though. Go up to ABS 5 again and see how that feels. Let it roll through. It's just the only problem with that is it just doesn't quite turn exactly like how I want it to. Just be a little bit more patient. If that front end would just turn a little bit quicker, be a little bit more responsive, be very happy with that, using the brakes going through that right-hander.
1:25.6.
Yeah, I would have missed that corner if I was using medium friction pads. They broke pretty deep that time.
Up one off course. Slow on the right. Got one off the track in front of you. Behind your toes.
I think I'm gonna stay with these high friction pads at this track. Maybe keep the ABS at 5 for now. I'm not really noticing a difference between 5 and 4. I think 5 will just give me a little bit more security. So again, I have to just barely drag the brakes there to get it to turn through and get cut over the curb like I like for the apex. Do you think that's a little bit quicker way through there? Probably braking too deep into that corner. I'm just trying to see what. Jeez. Just trying to see what the car does. Alright. So, I'm going to call this a new setup. Even though it's only really braking stuff I'm working on. I'll call it V5 because I just think having those high friction pads is just better off for a track like this. Because you just have such on and off parts of the track where you gotta get on the gas, back on the brakes, get on the gas, get back on the brakes. I think it would benefit us to be able to slow the car down more doing that. Alright. Now I want to experiment. See what happens. We go down one click on the front roll bar and one click down on the rear roll bar. See if I can notice any difference in the car at all. I'm kind of looking for now is how does the car go over the bumps? Does the car overall feel like it has more grip, less grip? Is the car rolling too much now by just going? Hold on. See what kind of effect these roll bars have on the car. Oh, the telemetry button, I don't know which one it is. Oh. I think it's just T. There it is. Man, this feels really good right now. Maybe my best lap. No, or not. Yep, just barely. My best lap was with the draft too, so. Ooh, this feels pretty good. Might have to keep this changed and then test it in some warmer weather, but imagine do alright in warmer weather too. I like the way it's getting through that first little section. Much more compliant over the curbs. I just want to have some fun.
Can you tell me what you're doing, buddy?
Let's see what a second gear burnout's like. Oops. Looks like I hit somebody. Must say sorry. Oh, no, that's not what I want to do. I just wanted to say sorry. Well, I think we're just gonna call it a day. And quite a bit of driving. Today. So just a little fun experimentation. I like that high friction pads with a little bit higher ABS setting. Again, please feel free to adjust the traction control and ABS however you like. And then just overall softening up the sway bars. Just kind of feel like it just helped the car over the curves a little bit better and allows me to take a little bit more aggressive lines without worrying about the car getting all crazy. So I'll do more testing with this, but I'll make sure to share this setup as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Later.